In a world that is getting ever more populated with streaming services, viewers have more options than ever. When Apple TV Plus came onto the scene, many turned their nose up at it due to the lack of initial content and it not being worth a subscription fee. But as the years have gone on, the catalogue has grown and successful Apple original movies and shows have come along, one being Ted Lasso.
Ready to boogie whenever you are.
Okay, that's Tower Bridge.
Right, not the London Bridge, because this one's still up.
What looked to be a show focused on football turned out to be much more layered, and as a result of that, it attracted a diverse audience. It's a show that gathered fans through word of mouth, and it hit a sweet spot of being a program that you could recommend your mate to watch, while at the same time also recommending your mum, who has very little interest in football, to watch it as well. In the same way The Walking Dead was more than a zombie show, Ted Lasso is more than a sports show, as in both cases the characters are the driving force. Back in 2013, as part of NBC's promotional campaign for Premier League football, they produced a series of skits with the character Ted Lasso, and at that time he was quite a different character.
What the hell? That's not a tackle. It's just sliding around.
Soccer tackle, sir.
All right there, Gary. That's how you tackle.
The creators decided to change Ted into a more caring individual, and his warm personality and compassion for others made him likeable from the off. Being an American football coach drafted in to manage a football team in the Premier League with very little knowledge of the sport certainly falls into the category of fish out of water. But adding to the fact he was chosen only as part of Rebecca's ploy to dismantle AFC Richmond meant he was at the same time walking into the lion's den. And so with that you have a perfect underdog, and as we've seen numerous times in sport, everyone loves an underdog story.
Leicester City are the champions of England.
Within a football club, there's a hierarchy of people in terms of the business side of things, but this is also the case inside the dressing room itself. And so you have a variety of different people with their own unique challenges, and all while taking place in a high pressure environment. Sounds like quite the combination.
Kind of like getting your first pube, right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
In season 1 you could see straight away that Ted Lasso as a show was a well crafted one, as it produced fascinating storylines that mixed together comedy and drama very well. Ted tackling football terms and UK phrases became a common occurrence, and regardless if you personally know what they mean, it works both ways, because if you're in the know, it's enjoyable watching Ted attempt to understand it, and if you're not, you're learning alongside Ted.
Heck, you could fill 2 internets with what I don't know about football.
It quickly became clear that the show had a lot to say on some serious topics, with mental health being a standout. The genuine nature of the show was an important factor for getting these messages across, because it didn't feel like it was jamming down your throat so much, but instead it felt like it was working in tandem with the story, especially in that first season. Season 2 continues in that form, however it goes on more tangents and it is overall less focused, and we do get some bonus episodes of the Christmas episode and the beard episode, and they feel exactly like that. They feel like bonus content, and to be honest, if I was going to do a rewatch, I'd probably skip those 2 episodes. As we've seen with other shows, once you gain some popularity and you get that online community going, you can become aware of yourself, and I think that's definitely been the case with Ted Lasso, because there are certain things here where you can see that they've noticed the fans like a certain joke or a certain part of the show, and they'll beat it like a dead horse. And it's clear that multiple brains are behind the show because there are so many different flavours to it. I mean, just look at the comedy, for example. There's certain moments which are really snappy and quick fire, whereas there's other moments which are just completely cringy and over the top. Thankfully you can brush aside the negatives because there is enough going on here for you to continue watching. So for every song and dance number, there's a Roy Kent line.
Any thoughts, Roy?
Jamie Tart is a muppet, and I hope he dies of the incurable condition of being a little bitch.
So let's talk about season 3, which is apparently the last season of Ted Lasso, and get into some of the details. Season 2 concluded with Nate joining West Ham and joining up with Rupert, and the show has made it quite obvious that it is very similar to the whole Darth Vader situation, that he has joined the dark side. The love triangle that had been established in previous seasons with Jamie, Roy and Keeley breaks away as Keeley gets with her boss Jack. And these 2 storylines with Nate and Keeley are quite similar, because in both cases we're just waiting for that inevitable breakdown of relationship, whether it be with the club or whether it be a personal thing. Both of these characters come out of the other end having learned something from their experiences, whether that be with Nate and his loyalty towards his girlfriend and towards Ted, and also Keeley having that control now of her own destiny.
We're fucking idiots.
Having said that, I think both of these storylines could have used a bit more about them, because in certain episodes in particular, they did feel like they were coasting along and just sort of getting ready for that end goal. But the season did have a lot of stories it wanted to tell, and so it did at times become a bit of that sort of jack of all trades, master of none, where they just have so many things they want to sort of address, but they can't always really give it the full attention it desires. The character of Zava played a big part in the first half of the season, and if you're unaware, he's a clear reference to the now retired footballer Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
When Zlatan comes to your house, you're the guest.
Throughout the whole show, there's been many Easter eggs that you expect for football fans, more of the obvious ones like with Thierry Henry and Pep Guardiola in this season, but also things like Mike Dean being there as a referee. But they're never used in a way where they alienate those who don't know football, and instead they tap into what makes football clubs a family, and that's things like football chants, like we see the guys in the pub sing, and also the drama of football, and the reason why football is such a popular sport. You know, the relegations, the promotions, the edge of your seat sort of stuff, and we do see that a lot in the games as well. I've got to say the green screen's got a lot better in season 3, and we do see what's been built up from the stories played out on the pitch, like, you know, some things with Jamie Tart, for example, and so you can really get invested. Talking about Jamie Tart, him being paired up with Roy Kent in this season was probably the best thing about it. Every time they had a scene together, it was probably the best one of the whole episode.
What is wrong?
I don't know.
Are you fucking dying or some shit?
No.
The heart of the show is Ted Lasso himself, and in this season we see him trying to conquer things on and off the pitch once again. With him having had to have to deal with his divorce and his panic attacks and him missing his son, he's been through quite a lot, and there were scenes, especially towards the end of the season, which really did stand out, and one of those was with his mum, how he really did let her know his true feelings to her, and also with Rebecca. They definitely did mess with the fans who were hoping these two were going to get in a relationship, but I think this pair works well as they are, and that's by having a sweet friendship with each other. And for Rebecca, going from hiring a man which she just intends to use to crying over him when he's deciding that he's going to leave shows the impact and effect he's had on her. You know, now she'll have to make her own biscuits, which, you know, there actually isn't a recipe online for them. Some of the smaller plot lines work better than others, like the Sam in the restaurant one didn't really grab me so much, whereas the storyline with Colin Hughes and him being gay and with Trent Crimm, I thought that worked a lot better. How they brought AFC Richmond to life was fantastic. Like, it really does feel like a real football club with all the different details they put in here, and it's no surprise people wanting to buy merch for it. Although there are quite a few cringe scenes with the players, there are some great personalities in there, and it was interesting to see the power dynamics between the dressing room. There was some great music used throughout the series as well, and in certain scenes it actually really did boost it up to another level. Ted Lasso is a flawed show. It's a mixed bag where there'll be things you love and things you hate, but overall it has that heartwarming atmosphere which will keep you coming back for more. Jason Sudeikis is brilliant as our charming lead star, and the wide variety of characters are all very well acted as well, and overall it told its story well, and it will leave a lasting impact. You can pretty much guarantee there'll be more content from this world, as they appear to tease a potential spin-off based around the Richmond women's team. Additionally, Ted's suggestion to Trent Crimm regarding the name change to the Richmond Way could also be a hint at what's to come in the future. For now though, let me know your favourite moments from the series, and also what is your verdict of the show overall. And if you wish to watch another video, on screen right now is one which YouTube are recommending for you.